Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Resilient Advisor. My name is Jay Coulter, and joining me for this episode is Taylor Schulte of Define Financial and the Advisor Growth Community. We're going to talk about financial advisor marketing.
Our mission at Resilient Advisor is to have a significant impact on the retirement crisis by educating and empowering financial advisors to better serve their clients. We bring you industry thought leaders and experts to help you make a difference in the lives of your clients.
Taylor Schulte is one of the most well-known financial advisors in the independent community. He is the co-founder of Define Financial. He is the co-founder of the Advisor Growth Community and a well-known advocate for financial advisors. Taylor, I've been looking for a reason to have you on the show for a long time. I appreciate you coming on to talk about how advisors can think about their marketing.
Jay, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to dive into a topic that I obviously really enjoy spending a lot of time on.
So let's go back to my intro. I think I got something wrong. You're not the co-founder of Define Financial. You started it on your own from scratch after leaving a wirehouse, didn't you?
I did. I am the sole founder and the sole owner.
And so I imagine a lot of that led to the experiments that you've been doing in marketing.
Yeah, I mean, when I launched my firm, part of the reason was I just wanted full creativity and flexibility to market and grow my firm. When you're working under other firms' umbrellas, you have constraints and compliance issues. And so here I was with like this blank slate. I am now my own compliance officer, and not to say that I was going to do anything that I shouldn't be doing, but it gave me a lot more flexibility. And so that's when I kind of found my love for marketing, when I got to really think outside the box and do things differently, and found that passion for marketing and started experimenting with a lot of different things, some which have worked well, some not so well.
In fact, those experiments in marketing, you've packaged up into a podcast for financial advisors. Tell us a little bit about that show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was, working on marketing and growing my firm for a few years and thinking that most advisors or all advisors thought the same way I did about marketing. And when I started sharing some of the things that I was doing with my mastermind groups and other advisors, people are like, dude, you need to share this with people. Like, you are looking at things totally different than anybody else. And so I kind of took the Gary V type of approach and thought, well, why don't I just like document what I'm doing and share with what other advisors, what we're doing, how we're doing it, what the results are. And that turned into the Experiments in Advisor Marketing podcast. I'm essentially just sharing exactly what we're doing at my firm to grow and market our firm, sharing the successes, sharing the lessons that I've learned, sharing the mistakes that I've made, and sharing that, through the podcast. So I've had a lot of fun. I've published, I think 25 episodes now. We only do one episode per month. And it's just a deep dive on a specific topic. For example, last year, actually 2 years ago now, I ran a snail mail campaign. And so I documented what that process was, exactly what I did, what the results were. And so we'll just dive into kind of a different marketing category in each episode and have a lot of fun and share the results. And I think what I've really enjoyed is I'll share something on a marketing topic and do a deep dive. And then I'll get to hear from all sorts of other advisors around the country who are like, that's interesting. I've been doing it this way and I've learned this. And like, I get a lot out of it by sharing, because I hear from other advisors what's working for them and the struggles that they're having. And it's kind of just turned into its own little community.
Yeah. So for podcast listeners, visit taylorschulte.com to go and listen to past episodes or on your favorite podcast player. Taylor, what's the name of the show?
It's called Experiments in Advisor Marketing.
Excellent. That name is explanatory. I love it. All right. So, Taylor, I don't think I've shared this with you. Whenever an advisor asks me what they should do with their website, I tell them to go look at yours and then go hire a professional. You have one of the top websites I've ever seen at definefinancial.com, which is why talking with you about marketing this is going to be a lot of fun. Before we get started, you have an event coming out later this year with Michael Kitces and the crew. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we've got what's called the Kitces Digital Marketing Summit. It's next month in May, May 13th. It's a Thursday. It's a 4-hour event. And what we have kind of realized, and what I realized through doing the podcast, is it's one thing to be sharing this information with people, right? Sharing what I did and how I did it, but it's different to actually show them exactly how we're doing it, right? And so kind of changing the game a little bit in terms of virtual meetings, virtual webinars. And instead of talking at people and telling them what they should do, we're going to be showing them exactly how we're doing it. So Kitces and myself are co-hosting this event. We'll be doing a presentation of our own, but then we have 6 other advisors, rockstar advisors from around the country that are just killing it with their marketing and their growth strategies. And they're coming in, they each have 30 minutes. They're covering a different segment of what we call the marketing funnel. And I know you and I are going to be talking a little bit about what the marketing funnel is, but they'll each have 30 minutes to share their screen and show exactly what they're doing to find success in one area of the marketing funnel. So there's no PowerPoint presentation. There's no telling them what you should do. It's like, hey, I've had a ton of success with Facebook advertising. Here's how I measure that success. And let me show you exactly how I do it. Let me show you exactly how I build a Facebook ad, the events that I'm driving to, what the results are. I'm not telling you that you should go and do this, but let me just show you what I'm doing. And so we really want to open advisors' minds about what's really possible in the marketing world, and also help them take action on these things. If Facebook advertising, if what you hear from Samantha and what you see, how she does it, if something you want to put into action, we'll have some resources as well to help advisors go and take action from what they've learned. So really focused on this, what Michael's calling show, don't tell, right? Don't tell me, show me. And so it'll be a really fun, interactive, just jam-packed day full of awesome marketing stuff. Again, it's a 4-hour event, Thursday, May 13th from 12 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll have a community hour right after that where we'll gather, we'll answer questions. We've got some fun stuff planned for that. So it's a really, really fun event.
For more information about the event, visit kitces.com or click the link in the show notes. I tell you, Taylor, what stood out to me about the event is there are no sponsors. Most of the time when you run across these events, it's a veiled sales pitch for some type of fancy technology. These are real operators showing their real processes for getting results.
Yep. Yeah. No sponsors, no vendors. And yeah, it's done on purpose. We really just want to have a great event for advisors, no conflicts, just a really super high quality event.
So Taylor, when advisors reach out to me and they say, Jay, I love what you're doing on Twitter, LinkedIn, your live streams, how can I start marketing? They think there's a simple button that they can push or somebody that they can hire. And really, you have to think about it at the strategic level first before you ever get tactical like you're going to at your summit. And why don't we break this conversation down into 3 buckets, just like you're doing at the summit: top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. What are your thoughts on what advisors need to be thinking about as it relates to the top of the funnel marketing?
Yeah, and maybe we'll just back up really quick. And when we think about this marketing funnel, and you hit the nail on the head, and the analogy that I like to use with financial advisors is, a common question that I get from advisors is something along the lines of, hey, do you think I should be doing Facebook advertising? Or what do you think of Snappy Kraken? Or what email marketing platform should I be using, right? And those are all the tactical strategies. But what's missing is the overarching plan. And it'd be akin to a stranger on the street walking up to you and saying, like, hey, do you think I should buy Tesla stock? Or, hey, what do you think of this Vanguard mutual fund? Should I be buying that? Any of us advisors would say, well, I don't know, maybe it depends. I have a lot more questions to ask you. We should probably do a full-blown financial plan first. And then that financial plan will drive the tactical strategies that we use to help you reach your goals. And marketing is the same exact thing, but we really get distracted with these shiny objects, with SEO, with Facebook advertising. We want to go straight to those shiny objects. That's the fun stuff. But what a lot of us end up skipping is the big plan. And that's where the marketing funnel really comes into play and really helps simplify what is a marketing plan. How can you actually get your marketing to work? Because you could have the most visible website on the planet. Your SEO could be dialed in, but if you don't have your middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel figured out, you might just have a bunch of wasted opportunities. You might not be turning that visibility into actual business and revenue. And so we want to make sure that we cover every layer of the marketing funnel in order to have success. So you had asked about top of funnel, and top of the marketing funnel really relates to building awareness, right? We just want to build awareness. We're not trying to take a total stranger from the internet and turn them into a client just yet. We just want to build awareness. We want people to find us. We want people to see us. We want people to read a little bit more about us, whether that's on our website or a social media page or a bio, wherever you're driving people to. We want to build that awareness. So, 2 very popular top of funnel activities would be SEO or search engine optimization. SEO could be local. It could be local SEO, like San Diego financial planner, San Diego financial advisor. You have people local in your city going to Google and searching for a financial advisor. So you might focus on some local SEO to build just awareness in your local city online. Again, you're not looking for those people to go Google and then become a client tomorrow. You're just trying to build some awareness and some visibility. Another way to do it might be Facebook advertising, putting Facebook ads out there. Again, think about it. It's pretty hard for a stranger to go from seeing a Facebook ad to handing over their life savings to a financial advisor that they've never met before overnight. It's going to take some time, and that's where the rest of the marketing funnel comes into play. So SEO, Facebook advertising, even online, Google retargeting ads, all those things are some very common methods of top of funnel marketing strategies.
Would you put any type of podcast on that top of funnel, or is that just more something to start driving it there?
Yeah, I guess I should have mentioned that, you can cut this up a number of different ways. For me personally, I view a podcast or even a blog for that matter, or even a YouTube channel as middle of the funnel. So middle of the funnel is where we want to build trust with that person. That's where they're maybe considering us as a service provider, and maybe they're going to consider hiring us at some point. We want to just build trust and authority with the people that we've built awareness with. So step one, build awareness. Once they have awareness, then we want to build trust with those people. And that's where I find podcasts, blogs, YouTube channels a great way to do that. They get to hear from me. They get to hear my philosophy. They can hear me speak. They maybe see me on camera, and you start to build that relationship with somebody in the middle of the funnel. Now, a blog could be used as top of funnel, or a podcast could be used as top of funnel. So you could cut this up a number of different ways, but I would still argue, if you're thinking of a podcast, we still need to get awareness to that podcast. Just because you start a podcast doesn't mean all of a sudden a bunch of people are going to start listening to it. So I would think, okay, if you're going to start a podcast, well, how are you going to build awareness and drive traffic to that podcast? And that would be a top of funnel type activity, is driving traffic to the podcast and then using the podcast to build trust and authority and show your expertise. That would be middle of the funnel, in my opinion.
Got it. So that's actually where I get a lot of my marketing wrong. So I spend a lot of time on the YouTube channel, on the podcast, on Twitter with live streams, but not as much. And this is marketing to financial advisors, not advisors to the retail clients, but using your construct, it's the top of the funnel, where you have to start to get people there with the SEO, with the Facebook ads, or some other type of driver there first.
Right. And you might need to produce your content first, the way you produce it and doing it live. You get to produce that content, and your top of funnel almost happens at the same time with these live shows, because you're posting on social media, you're tagging people, they're retweeting, they're liking, they're engaging. So those activities are helping to bring awareness to that middle of the funnel. Once somebody finds your podcast, finds your live show, then hopefully they subscribe and they listen on a regular basis, and then you get to build trust with them over time. So some of these things may be out of order a little bit, but nonetheless, your job with this show is to build awareness, right? You didn't just launch a show and all of a sudden, thousands of advisors showed up.
No, nobody showed up for a while there.
Right.
So to put this back into advisor speak, when you look at the top of the funnel, you've got to spend some money to start getting those folks in there. And this idea that you can, build it and they will come, it doesn't exist, does it, Taylor?
No, it doesn't exist. And, you don't necessarily need to spend money. I think that it's an effective way to go about it if you have a marketing budget, but you can certainly pound the pavement and build awareness in other ways too. You can leverage your existing network, starting a social media page and tagging people and engaging in social media type marketing strategies to build awareness doesn't necessarily need to cost money. So you could pound the pavement, leverage your current network to help build awareness for your podcast, your blog, your YouTube channel, or whatnot. But advertising and spending some money certainly helps. But yeah, I just don't want to set that expectation that you have to spend money on top of funnel activities. Okay. Also, I just think when we think about top of funnel, I think we just want to set the expectation that, again, I think a lot of advisors will come into, let's just use SEO as an example. When they're engaging in SEO and trying to improve their SEO, the thought in their head is okay, I'm going to improve my SEO and hopefully I'm going to get some business out of it. And I would just try to encourage people to change their frame of thinking there. And we're not engaging in SEO to try and get business here overnight. We're just thinking of that strictly as a top of funnel activity to build awareness to our brand, our company, our services. Now let's focus on middle of the funnel and how we can nurture those people. And then we'll get to bottom of the funnel in a little bit. But I think just kind of resetting our expectations as to what is the purpose of this marketing activity and where does it fit into the entire plan or funnel in this case.
Excellent. So let's tie this into the summit that you have coming this summer or in May. So what are the subject matter experts going to be talking about as it relates to the top of the funnel during the summit?
Yep. So top of funnel, one of our guest speakers, Samantha, she's got a family RIA that she helped grow from $500,000 in revenue to over $6 million in revenue in the last 5 years, primarily through Facebook advertising. So she's going to come in and talk about using Facebook advertising as a top of funnel marketing activity. She drives Facebook ads to online events or in-person events pre-COVID, which, those in-person events were middle of the funnel to nurture and build trust with those people. And then she had a sales process at the end of that, which would be bottom of the funnel to convert them. But for this event's sake, Samantha is just going to be focusing on top of funnel, the Facebook ads, how she builds those Facebook ads. She's going to share her screen and show exactly how she creates those ads. With advisors and showing how she works the top of funnel. Second to that, Chubb is another advisor who has done an incredible job with local SEO and also niche SEO. He only works with physicians. And once they started working with local SEO, he took it to another level and thought, well, maybe I could target some keywords that my target demographic, physicians, are searching online in regards to financial planning and personal finance. And so he's done a great job finding visibility through SEO, both locally and nationally through some of those niche keywords. And he's going to be walking advisors through exactly where he started in 2018, which was rock bottom zero, no online traffic whatsoever, to growing to, thousands of people visiting his website organically each month. And he'll be sharing his screen and walking you through exactly using real life examples, how he optimized those things for SEO and what the actual results were. So those will be our two top of funnel speakers. Middle of the funnel, we have Brittney Castro, who a lot of people know. She'll be talking about her email marketing and her kind of mini course that she puts together to help nurture people in the middle of the funnel. So people have found Brittney. She built awareness to her brand. Now she needs a way to build trust with those people. And that's what she uses this mini course for. It's a 30-day course. She'll be showing exactly what that content looks like. How she nurtures people, how she creates that content, the frequency of the content, how many people are clicking through, what are those open rates, what are some improvements she's made, what are the mistakes she's made, and she'll just be sharing her screen and walking people through exactly what that looks like. And then Peter Lazaroff will be next to her, also talking about middle of the funnel and email marketing. He's done a great job in the email marketing segment and breaking people up into different segments and monitoring, like getting really nerdy with the middle of the marketing funnel and figuring out where people are getting stuck in that funnel. So he's been really good about tracking analytics and data and figuring out, okay, I'm seeing that people are getting stuck at this part of this funnel that I've created, and then figuring out ways how to improve that and get them to continue moving through that funnel. So he'll be talking about email marketing as well, but diving into a little bit more of like the data and analytics. I know we haven't gotten to the bottom of the funnel yet, so we can save that.
Yeah. So a follow-up question on email marketing. So most advisors find it very frustrating. They look at some canned content, maybe it goes out for a couple months and they just generally stop because there's messaging in there they didn't like. Other folks spend a lot of time in their email messaging as it goes out. At the end of the day, do you consider email marketing table stakes for advisors that need to grow their business? And then why or why not?
I don't know that I'd say that anything is table stakes. I think every practice is different and unique. I think email marketing is really powerful if used correctly. Again, I think the trap that most of us fall into is we're thinking of email marketing as, okay, I'm going to launch an email marketing campaign and, hopefully I'm going to get some business out of it. And I think that's the wrong way to think about it. If you're strictly focused on using it as a middle of the funnel marketing activity, which is what Brittney and Peter are doing, and you really think about, okay, if this is strictly a middle of the funnel marketing activity, which is I'm just trying to build trust and authority with these people, what does that look like? What can I do on a regular basis to build trust with them? No expectations about them becoming clients. How can I just build trust with them? And if you're just solely focused on that, it's probably going to change the way you attack email marketing. But I think where we get stuck is, we outsource it, which is potentially problem number one. by just outsourcing it using canned content. But we have these wrong expectations in our head about what the actual results are going to be. So I just try to be really honest about where email marketing actually fits in. And email marketing could fit into bottom of the funnel, right? You could use email marketing to help convert people from your middle of the funnel. It just kind of depends on what your overall strategy looks like. But is it table stakes? I don't know. I think most advisors should probably be taking advantage of it if they're doing it the right way. But I'm sure there's other ways to go about it without using email marketing.
In the last couple of months, I've had Robert Sophia from Snappy Kraken on, and Samantha Russell's been on several times from Lead Pilot. And they're not the only ones, but there's some great platforms out there that you can customize, but provide a nice chassis for delivering email marketing. And I think it really helps eliminate some of the pain points for it. But I'm blown away. Doesn't do a good job sending out emails either. Just kind of neglect that aspect of it. So that seems like two really valuable sessions for folks that are looking to do better with their digital marketing.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. And, I've said this publicly before, so I'm not going to upset anybody here. But, look, the perfect solution when it comes to email marketing is to put the entire platform together yourself. Go find your own, email marketing platform like a MailChimp or ConvertKit or Constant Contact, and then build the actual funnels yourself and build all the lead magnets yourself and customize everything on your own. But that's a lot of work for advisors who have no marketing experience. They don't have marketing departments. And that's where I think Samantha and Robert at Snappy Kraken come into play, is like they're doing most of the hard work for you. And then you're coming in to kind of bring it to the finish line. So there are two awesome solutions for advisors to consider if they don't want to go and put all the pieces together themselves.
Yeah, I've tried to do that. It didn't end so well myself. All right, let's talk about the bottom of the funnel. What do advisors need to think about from a high level when it comes to the bottom of the marketing funnel?
Yeah, again, thinking about this whole funnel, you could have the best Facebook ads in the world. You could have a killer email marketing system that's working your middle of the funnel, great content, building trust with your audience, just people absolutely love you, but you don't have any process for them to actually take the next step and become a client, right? And it's not as simple as like schedule a call and become a client. We need to be really thoughtful about our sales process. At my firm, our sales process takes about 4 to 6 weeks for a potential client to go through in order to make a decision about working with our firm. We're extremely thoughtful about every single little step of that process, from what's the page that they land on, what button are they going to click, what questions are we going to ask them. I mean, the workflows behind the scenes that power this process are not a joke. But in turn, 60% of the people that go through our sales process end up becoming clients. So the majority of the people that go through our entire sales process are becoming clients. So we have a really good batting average at our bottom of the funnel. But that's because we've been extremely thoughtful about that sales process. And that's the bottom of the funnel comes into play. It doesn't need to be as robust as mine or some of the speakers that are joining us at the Kitces Summit. It doesn't need to be that robust, but you do need to think about, okay, I've nailed top of funnel. I've nailed middle of the funnel. Now I need to have a system for helping people take action. And this isn't like put my sales hat on and try to convince people that they need to hire my firm, but you want to have a clear path for people that are interested. If somebody's interested in working with you, make it really easy for them to take that action, and then make sure that they have a really good experience through that process. The 40% of the people that don't end up hiring us, I promise you, if you had their phone number and you called them, they would tell you it was a tremendous experience. Just at the end of the day, we just weren't the right fit to work together. And that's okay. But I still want them to walk away having a really good experience going through that process. So we have two people that are doing a great job in that department. One is Adam Cmejla, who a lot of advisors know. He primarily works with optometrists. He's just got a thriving practice, and he has built an incredible sales process at the bottom of his funnel. And he'll be showing advisors exactly how he does that. He's a workflow ninja. So he's going to be showing his workflows that power that sales process. And I think a lot of smaller solo advisor shops will really relate to Adam and what he's built in terms of bottom of the funnel and his sales process. Next to him will be Kris Venne at Ritholtz Wealth Management, right? I think they crossed $2 billion in assets under management recently. Large firm, lots of advisors, huge visibility across the country, if not the world. Kitces and I were really interested to hear from Kris and the Ritholtz team. Okay, you've got, you've nailed top of funnel and middle of funnel. You've got tons of awareness. You obviously have a lot of people reaching out to your firm, interested in working with you guys. What does it actually look like to take your audience and turn them into actual clients. So especially at that kind of volume. So Kris is going to be walking us through their sales process at Ritholtz Wealth. Again, showing exactly what that looks like from the very beginning, from one of their podcast listeners or one of their blog readers, the very beginning that they click a button and take action with Ritholtz, what that entire process looks like from start to finish. So it'll be really cool to hear from both of them, one from a multi-billion-dollar shop and one from a smaller, solo RIA, what the bottom of the funnel actually looks like.
God. Taylor, that sounds like a fantastic event for advisors that really want to level up their marketing game. To learn more about the Kitces Marketing Summit with Taylor Schulte, visit kitces.com. Click the link in the show notes. It's May 14th?
Thursday, May 13th.
Thursday, May 13th. Taylor, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts around financial advisor marketing.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Jay.